people are in. Let's talk about a rule that's discussed in all levels of basketball, and that's the concept of no middle.
The buzz is the 2K Sports pregame show. It sure is. Thanks, David. Now let's take a look at Denver's opening lineup. They've got Clark. P.J. Tucker is out there with Vucevic. And there's Iguodala. And it's Adebayo in at the 5. And for Boston, all out there with Bradley Beal. Then there's Plumlee. Then it's Porter. And it's Wood in at the power forward. Now here's Vucevic.
Well, they say the post-up big man is dead and gone in the NBA, but don't tell that to Nikola Vucevic. An offensive focal point, and he does some of his best work on that low block.
Here's Wall. Turned in an outstanding game against New York. Outside, Beal. Offline with his 3. And you look at the footwork of Vucevic inside, his moves and counter moves. Terrific.
Shades of Kevin McHale. And that's something he's continued to develop in the pros. A response to defenders who often surpass him athletically.
Iguodala against Wall. Shots good by Iguodala.
You just can't give Iguodala these looks. He's too experienced and crafty down low.
Iguodala against Wall. The 17-footer. It's Clark with the rebound.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take.
Boy, the unselfishness of Iguodala is really admirable. A forward with excellent vision. He has a feel for when one of his guys is open.
Austin with the ball. After the Nuggets pick up 2. Wall. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
That's a very low percentage shot. Not good basketball at all. One he probably should have passed on.
Iguodala, the pass to Vucevic. Here's Clark. The rebound by the Celtics. And going against Denver, their first meeting of the season.
Yeah, and a bit of a revenge game for them as they were swept in the 2-game season series from last year.
And, you know, they might not be in the same conference, Greg, but as with any top team, they want to show they can compete with the best teams out of conference, too.
The Celtics shooting their first foul shots of the night here. And both free throws good for Beal. Some guys check the league standings every day. Others try to avoid it. What was your approach when you played?
Hey, I didn't look at them much because we were a team that was struggling, Kevin. We were just trying to find our way to being competitive back in the early 80s with the Pacers. So I never got to the point where we were a team that was looking at the standings daily. And I avoided the papers pretty much throughout my career just because to me was a bit of a waste of energy and time. I had more things to focus on than where we were in the standings and what people might be saying and writing about.
Wood can't hit.
And the activity he shows around the rim is why he is such a respected defender.
And you know what? He's not going to give up an easy finish at the rim. I mean, that's just against his constitution.
Now here's Iguodala coming off a stellar performance against Toronto.
And guys, we talk all the time about making the extra pass. Clark there proving how important that concept is.
Here is Plumlee. Outside, Beal. And it's blocked. Now, here's Tucker, covered by Wall. And there's the foul. It'll go on Christian Wood. That'll be his second foul of the game. On defense, Boston. They trail by 7. Wall against Iguodala. Pass to Tucker from downtown. And again, Denver with the triple.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Outside, Beal. Kept alive by Boston. Wall draws the double. Back to Plumlee. Clock at 6. Here's Porter, and it's denied. And so it looks like the Celtics will retain possession here. Here's Beal. He had a 39-point outing in their last game against New York.
And he also dominated the glass out there. He hit the boards hard and often.
Here's Iguodala. And so it's the Denver Nuggets going into the break. One of the premier point guards in the NBA, John Wall.
My season wouldn't mean nothing to me if I don't make it.
Well, that's the mindset you have to have.
You know, individual accolades are great, but team success is what it comes down to.
And so far through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. What do you guys think about the Nuggets out here in this one?
What we saw in that first quarter, they won their matchups defensively.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you look at the energy, the effort defensively. They put it all out there in that opening quarter.
So out there for the Nuggets right now, G3 Tucker is out there with Vucevic, and there's Iguodala. Then it's Bam Adebayo, and it's Clark in at the shooting guard position.
Solid rebound there, and with the score like it is, that's an area where they can't afford to get lazy.
Yeah, another column in the stat sheet that hasn't gone in their favor. To climb back, they've got to put forth more effort.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, for Nick Vucevic, there were some great firsts last season. His son, Philip, was born in December. And then Dad made his first All-Star appearance. Nick is from a basketball family. He said, "I'll enjoy telling my son the stories, like my dad did with me." We'll see if he likes the game of basketball. I think he will. Kevin?
Well, DA, it's certainly in his genes. Thanks for that report. Now, Plumlee. After the missed three from Iguodala. Count that one. And it's 7 points for Beal.
Now, how about how he sets his man up there, runs him right into the screen, and then gets the basket?
GA drafted after only playing 3 games at the University of Missouri. A lot of people probably hadn't seen Michael Porter Jr. play basketball. But with that in mind, describe his game for us now.
Kevin, at 6'10", he's a fluid athlete with tremendous shot-making ability. Grew up one of 7 kids, homeschooled. They all played ball. He's had a basketball in his hands from a very young age, and you can see it in his approach.
Here is Wall. After the made shot from Nikola Vucevic, it's tipped. It's stolen by Adebayo. And Iguodala gets it to go in on the assist by Clark. 7 points for Andre Iguodala.
They've settled into a nice groove offensively here in the second.
Yeah, and that field goal percentage zooming upwards is now above 50%, which is pretty strong.
And that one is good from Bradley Beal.
Unbelievable. This guy is completely in a zone.
And he knows it. You can see it. Body language, the confidence. Real swagger out there for him.
Now, here's Adebayo. He picked up 18 points in their last win against Toronto.
Yeah, but his shot blocking was a factor as well. 3 on the game, just a major presence on the D.
Here's Wall. 7-point differential. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul.
And you look at how the Nuggets have become the team they are. A lot has to do with player development.
Exactly. I agree with you wholeheartedly. Denver has done a great job in the draft. Identify talent, stick to your guns in choosing that talent, then build it, develop it. Their front office has been fantastic.
And so it's Wall with it, bringing it up for the Boston Celtics. They are coming into this having notched a win against the Knicks in their last game.
And that one was all about offensive execution, running your plays, picking your spots.
Yeah, you know, not deviating from the game plan is critical. You got to trust in the system.
Now here's Iguodala. Bradley Beal unable to get his shot to go.
Yeah, you know, Tucker's a little undersized, but he makes up for it with leaping ability and reach.
Now 8 seconds separating the 2 clocks. Here's Wall, and the slam dunk by Wall.
And look at hanging in the air, double pump, and then throws it down.
And you see the D, they just stepped aside, let him pick what kind of move he wanted to make. Wow.
And what a beautiful move it was that he picked.
Iguodala, right side, shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws.
How about this clear example of perseverance? I mean, he's in his 8th season before he makes an All-Star game in 2019. Nikola Vucevic just stayed with it, continued to get better.
Such a wide open look. And that's 12 points for Bradley Beal.
Well, that's one way he can finish, but far from the only way he gets it done. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
After 2 quarters, it's Denver out in front. They have a 6-point lead. Kenny? And now with the second half.
We've got second half action for you, and if the next couple quarters are similar to the first, this one could go down to the last possession. It's been quite a game for Bradley Beal.
Man, he's been running wild on him through that first half. Absolute dynamite on offense.
And you know what? I'll be interested to see just how much he's got left in the tank. That first half had to take a lot out of him.
Our second half of basketball, and presented by Gatorade. Let's see who's all fueled up and on the floor to start the third. On the floor for Boston. Plumlee out there with Wood. Then there's Bradley Beal. Then it's Porter. And it's Wall in at the 1 spot. Clark, you ever think we'll see a player coach in the NBA again?
I don't think so, Kevin. The role is just so demanding. You know, it requires so much, and there's so much scrutiny now. I don't think you can effectively play and coach in this day and age. No, I don't think you'll see it happen.
Last one we saw was Dave Cowens back in the late 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That's a long time ago, man.
With the Boston Celtics.
Yep.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead. Boy, patrolling the paint well, protecting the rim, that's exactly the kind of defensive effort you need against him.
Porter, no luck.
And not allowing the shooter even an inch of breathing room on that one.
And, guys, that's exactly the kind of high-impact defense they want to see out of him.
And the pass to Vucevic. Sinks that one from the post. Vucevic has got 9 points.
Well, that's just strength there. That's what we call weight room. The power of Vucevic on display.
Here's Wall, and denied. He sends it right off the glass. Pass to Vucevic. 3-pointer. The shot's good on the assist by Iguodala. Iguodala's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Knocked away. Iguodala with the steal. Lays it up and banks it in. 11 points in the game.
They've been going to him an awful lot this game, and you can see why. He's pouring it on.
And with Andre Iguodala, he doesn't give you 20 points tonight like he once did, Greg, but he still shows up when you need him.
Iggy can still hit the switch, so to speak, and go back to his all-star level of play for stretches. I mean, the numbers don't jump out at you, but he is so valuable during big games, particularly in the postseason.
Tucker, the pass to Vucevic. Vucevic gets double-teamed on the corner, and that one goes long.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Boston, no good that time either.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it. Gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
And now the first timeout called here for Boston.
He's forcing shots offensively, hurting his team in the process. He needs to trust his teammates more.
The list of contenders for the three-point contest is really interesting this year. Every one of these guys is capable of going lights out in a setting like that.
Yeah, the field is almost set, and I wouldn't want to have to make a prediction. These are all fantastic shooters. It's just a matter of who gets hot on that day.
Well, you look at Tucker, he's going to need to leapfrog quite a few great shooters if he's going to be a part of the three-point festivities in All-Star Weekend, but, maybe he can do it.
I mean, anything's possible, especially if he has a few big games from beyond the arc before All-Star Weekend. That'd give him a nice bump in the voting.
And the excitement for this year's three-point contest keeps growing as we get closer to All-Star Weekend. Some amazing shooters in line to take part.
Hard to pick a winner out of that group of contenders, but safe to say it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Offensive rebound. Beal can't get it to go.
No matter what looks they get, they just can't convert to stop this run.
And, they've got to be careful because this is when the team concept breaks down and guys start playing hero ball.
Well, part of their game plan was to block out the noise and just stay focused.
And what's been impressive is that it's not been any one player. It's been a collective effort, contributions from everybody.
And so it's Denver with a 21-point lead to end the quarter. Defensively, they have gotten after it, contesting every shot going up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And let's take this chance now to show you the State Farm assist of the game.
And definitely deserving of the prize tonight. How about the read he made here? Looking like a point guard, putting the pass right on the money.
Terrific versatility coming from a big man. Not something that the majority of big guys possess.
And there have been two very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. So on the floor for Denver, they've got Vucevic. Clark is out there with Iguodala. Then it's Bam Adebayo. And it's Tucker in at the 3 spot. Clark, you look at the defensive metrics for Nikola Vucevic lately, very good. And yet, he's been considered a liability at that end. So, in your opinion, which is it?
Yeah, Kevin, I think it's a blend, quite honestly. The analytics say one thing, but in this day and age, the way the game is played, big centers are typically challenged from a mobility standpoint, especially trying to defend fleet-footed perimeter guys in pick-and-roll situations and in space. To Vucevic's credit, he's worked hard at becoming better, trying to be a better rim protector and recognize where he needs to be early on with anticipation. So he's making progress, but it's a blend in my mind.
And easy to understand why many believe Porter is the complete package, skilled at making the correct pass.
Back to Iguodala. Vucevic against Porter. Here's Clark, and there's another one for the Nuggets.
He's come out here in the second half and done a nice job moving, getting good looks, and finding his range.
Outside, Porter. Wall against Iguodala. 6 on the shot clock. Wall draws the double. The kick out to Porter. It's Adebayo with the rebound.
And you can see why he might be off on some of his attempts, getting far fewer shots today than he's accustomed to.
And Clark, when you look at how the game has changed, if you were entering the league today, how would you reshape your skill set?
Well, the biggest part would be expanding my shooting range. I was a good shooter at the time that I played, but would need to expand it and was just starting to stretch out my shooting to the three-point line. And then also defensively, be a little more committed to that end of the floor, really working to get better there. But ball handling, passing, scoring, rebounding, those were things that I did pretty well.
Here's Markkanen. Oh, yes, the turnaround. Markkanen's got his first basket.
You cannot give Markkanen room to shoot from the mid-range. I mean, he's capable of dropping these in bunches.
1:46 left in the fourth quarter. Here's Cook. Chandler with the block. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Chandler. .141 left in the fourth quarter. 6 to shoot. Here's Cook. Yes, and it's Hardaway picking up the assist.
Well, you know, guys, we know Hardaway can score, but when he makes these passes, it makes him a lot more dangerous.
Here's none. That one doesn't drop. Excellent D there from Beasley.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Denver.
This was a physical game.
Yeah, I mean, they were aware of the rotations defensively and were able to attack the rim.
And so this will mark the 15th win of the year for them. And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Vucevic.
Boy, from a scoring standpoint, he was absolutely sensational. Made the game look easy tonight.
Here's Markkanen. A beautiful reverse layup.
Impressive awareness from Markkanen. I mean, down on the block there, really good job of using his height to get his shots off.
Passes it to Beasley. 40 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Yep, it counts.
Saw the opportunity to put this away and did not turn it down.
And, you know, this run shows what kind of attitude this team has. I mean, the win is there. Go get it.
To the wing on the left. Outside, Markkanen. Lee finds Markkanen. Here's none. That's tipped. Now here is Hardaway. So it's the Nuggets winning this one easily to come into an opponent. All right, David, great job. Thanks so much. And that about wraps it up.